Ponytails. Read by Scribbler. Delusional by Homage.
Oh, it wouldn't have been possible without your help, Rainbow Dash.
Anytime, Rarity,
replied the cyan Pegasus, smiling and patting herself on the back for a job well done. She flapped her wings and took off, happy to be so appreciated by her friends. She was on her way back to her favourite napping cloud when she thought she heard a faint sound of multiple ponies cheering her name. The Pegasus followed the sound until she found herself outside of the Cutie Mark Crusaders clubhouse.
Probably just skirting my fan club,
she thought, taking a little peek in the window. She was unsurprised to see Scootaloo wearing a rainbow wig and standing in front of a small mob of colts and fillies. Scootaloo cleared her throat.
So, in light of the fact that no pony can remember what we declared Rainbow Dash at our last meeting, I motion that we declare Rainbow Dash the most super awesome, amazing, bravest, coolest pony. All in favor, say aye. Aye!
Replied the entire crowd. Rainbow Dash, watching from the window, started grinning like a foal. She knew she was awesome, but to hear other ponies say it was even better. One of the fillies in the crowd noticed the mare in the window.
Hi! Isn't there Rainbow Dash right there?
The cerulean earth pony exclaimed. Before Rainbow Dash could take off, the group of foals all rushed out of the door and surrounded her.
I wasn't spying,
said the Pegasus. The foals, however, just smiled like idiots, some of them bouncing up and down and making fanfilly squeals. One of the colts even attempted to propose to Rainbow. Rather than totally crush his hopes, she just said,
"You're a little young, don't you think?"
The beaming colt replied,
"That's okay, I'll wait."
The feeling of being surrounded by her little admirers was too much for Rainbow Dash. She was overcome by joy and collapsed into a heap. The world went dark as the colts and fillies swirled away. Rainbow Dash awoke on a bed in a small dark room. She sat up and tried to stretch her wings, but to her horror they didn't respond. Again and again she tried to take off, but her wings just wouldn't listen. She was alerted by the sound of hoofsteps from outside the room's only door. She stood up, rearing back to wave her front hooves menacingly.
"I'm not afraid of you! Show yourself! Whoa!"
She managed to get off before losing her hoofing and toppling over backward. Strange. Normally her wings would have helped her to stay balanced. There was a faint click as the door was unlocked from the outside. Rainbow Dash struggled to flip herself over. It took much longer than usual, but eventually she got upright. She looked up to see a middle-aged earth pony with a cutie mark of an hourglass.
Hello again, Rain Dance. I just wanted to check in on you and see how you were doing.
Rainbow growled at the unfamiliar stallion.
"It's not Rain Dance. My name is Rainbow Dash. And what have you done with the foals? If you laid a single hoof on them..."
The strange earth pony sighed and buried his face in his hooves.
Really, Rain Dance? I thought we were past this. Did you go back to Ponyville again?
"What's it to you, mister?"
Rainbow replied angrily. She snorted and started pawing the ground with one hoof.
It's Doctor.
The unfamiliar stallion responded.
Dr. Hoffman, your primary caretaker here at Hope Long-Term Mental Care?
Mental care? You're the one who needs mental care. Now tell me what you did with my friends, or I'll fly over there and kick your flank so hard you'll need medical care.
Please, Rain Dance, don't do this,
replied Dr. Hoofman in a sad tone. Rainbow Dash reared up.
Sorry, Doc, but it looks like you'll be retiring early.
She leaped into a dive, flapping her wings as hard as she could. But instead of taking off like a bat out of Tartarus, she crashed to the floor.
What did you do to my wings?
Rainbow screamed. She turned to look at them and was horrified by what she found. These couldn't be her wings. Hers were healthy and strong. These were shrunken and twisted. She tried to flap them, but they wouldn't move. Dr. Hoofman sighed at the mare's shock. He pulled out a clipboard and wrote down,
More memory loss.
He asked again,
So, Rain Dance, did you go back to Ponyville or not?
The flightless Pegasus sighed.
Yes.
She replied, staring daggers at the stallion.
Why wouldn't I? I live there after all. And it's Rainbow Dash, not Rain Dance.
The psychologist lifted his clipboard again.
Still delusional.
He wrote. He looked back at Rainbow Dash.
All right. It seems we have a lot to talk about, Rain Dance. Please come with me.
He began to head out the door. Rainbow Dash argued,
Not until you tell me what you did with my friends.
The doctor looked back.
Actually, that is what we'll be talking about.
Rainbow didn't want to trust Dr. Hoofman, but if there was a chance that cooperating could save her friends, she would have to do it. The two ponies walked down the hall. They passed several other rooms, all with one-way glass. Inside the rooms, she could see ponies rocking back and forth, chewing their hooves, writing on walls, or talking to themselves. One unicorn stallion was flailing wildly and screaming as several nurses tried to restrain him. The two ponies eventually arrived at a large beige door with a plate which bore the name Sonic Hoofman. The stallion turned the knob with his teeth and pulled open the door. He sat behind the large desk and motioned for Rainbow Dash to sit. She obeyed him, plopping down in one of the chairs in front of the large oak desk. A sudden shudder overtook Rainbow Dash, as if she recognized this place, but only from a dream or perhaps a distant memory. The brown pony spoke up.
Now, Rain.
Bo, Dash added under her breath.
Dance.
The stallion corrected in a stern voice.
Your name is Rain Dance, not Rainbow Dash. That is the first thing I want to talk about with you.
And I'm supposed to be crazy? Please?
Rainbow Dash said mockingly.
Please, Rain. I'm only trying to help you get better. Now, I know it's difficult for you to accept, but Rainbow Dash never existed. She's a ponysona you created for yourself to avoid having to cope with your disability.
Rainbow Dash looked back at her mangled, deformed wings and swallowed. Disability? But she could fly. She was even one of the few ponies in Equestria who could do a sonic rain boom. Heck, her cutie mark was flying for Celestia's sake. She turned back to look at her flank and be reminded of who she truly was. But her cloud, with its colourful lightning bolt, was gone too. Her flank was bare.
No, 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 no,
muttered Rainbow Dash.
Is this some kind of cruel joke?
I'm afraid not,
said Dr. Hoofman.
Your real name is Rain Dance, and you have been a patient at Hope Long-Term Mental Care for 12 years.
Then why can't I remember anything?
Asked Rain Dance, tears welling in her eyes.
The mind is an amazing thing,
replied Dr. Hoofman, getting out of his chair.
In your case, your mind repressed the things you didn't want to remember, and fabricated a new reality for you to live in. In this case, Ponyville and all your friends. In real life, you were born with deformed wings and were bullied relentlessly by the other Pegasi for it. Your Rainbow Dash Ponysona was your mind's way of saving you from your own flaws. Your passiveness and inability to assert yourself was bona fide in the form of your Fluttershy Ponysona. When you were being teased and hurt by the other fools, you wanted nothing more than for some pony to come and save you, but no pony did. The bullying got so bad that you jumped off a cloud to kill yourself. So you invented Rainbow Dash and became her so that you could chase off the bullies and stand up for your friends. Her flying talent was your way of making up for your disability. And she got her cutie mark first because you were depressed that you never got yours. All your friends were just part of your own personality. Rainbow Dash was just a coping mechanism.
Rain Dance broke down into tears. This wasn't possible. There was just no way.
All my friends aren't real. So I'm all alone.
Rain Dance, you're...
The voice of Dr. Hoofman was cut off as the world faded into black. Rainbow Dash woke up on the floor of the Ponyville library.
I guess she was really surprised.
It was pretty, startling.
Oh, relax, darling. She'll be just fine. Perhaps some smelling salts will help?
Ready to party!
Y'all need to put a cap on the volume, Pinky! Rainbow Dash sat up. She was home.
Spike, Fluttershy, Rarity, Twilight, Pinkie Pie, Applejack, you're all here!
Well, of course we are, Sugar Cube. It ain't your birthday every day.
Applejack pointed out.
Birthday?
Rainbow Dash face-hooved.
Oh, yeah!
Is something the matter? Inquired Rarity.
Well, nothing really. I just had the craziest dream, where I was crazy and you were all just figments of my mind.
Don't be silly, Rainbow. We would never leave you, said Twilight Sparkle. Her friends gave her a group hug.
Okay, knock it off,
said Rainbow Dash, chuckling to herself. That was such a ridiculous dream, and it was already fading away. She forgot all about it and began to dance to the music with all her friends around her. Outside the window, a stallion with an hourglass cutie mark sighed and wrote something on a clipboard. That was Delusional. It was written by Homage and read by Scribbler with special guest voice actor Screams from Equestria. Okay, thank you very much for listening. Much later getting this fic out this week than I anticipated, although I did put out a comic dub last night to try and sort of fill the gap. I've generally been very unpleasant company to be around this week, owing to various different things going on in real life, so I've not been antisocial. I've not been swearing at people if they try to talk to me or things like that, but I've generally not been sociable. So if anybody has tried to contact me this week and I've not responded, or if you've noticed that I've kind of disappeared from on Skype, there were reasons. They are real life related and not and stressy. Yeah, I probably don't have to go into much detail because everybody's got this. They've got real life. I am turning into you. Real life stresses. So, instead, I will get out my post-it and do some updates rather than pelting people with more of my angst. So this week, I, much to my surprise, because I didn't realise it was going to be out as soon as it was, I appeared in the new chapter of Allegrezza by Indubitably Ponyfied, or Nimbus Studios, as they're sometimes called. And I've become the new voice of Octavia in that fic. So it was chapter 6 that came out this week, and there's 17 chapters in all. And I'm very much looking forward to doing those, because Allegrezza is one of the first Octi-Scratch fics that was in the fandom. And arguably, according to some, is one of the best, if not the best. So we'll see how that one goes. Secondly, Cider Barrel, who is a long-time collaborator of mine, who's working with me on Heroic Tale and comic dubs and fic readings and all sorts, is generally a really nice chap, has put together some badges to help with Pounce Aid, which was totally unprecedented and so generous, because I didn't know he was going to do that. So I am putting the link in the description below, and I am showing at this very moment a picture of what the badges look like on his Etsy site. So please, 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 there's only 50 of them available, so they're a very limited time offer. If you go and purchase one of those to help with Pounce Aid, both Cider Barrel and I would really appreciate it, especially since he doesn't know I'm making this announcement. So please go and purchase those. The t-shirts, the Ilya Leonov, who has donated the t-shirts and the printing and all sorts of other really generous things to Pounce Aid, showed me the finished products. He showed me pictures of the finished products because he lives in a whole different country from me, so that would be quite a commute for me to go and have a bit of a looky-loo. And he's sent them out to our distributor, who is a bag of Vicodin. No matter how many times I say that always comes out sounding odd, but if you know who a bag of Vicodin is, he's generally a really lovely fellow. Perverted as all get out, but generally lovely. And he is acting as our distributor for the Pounce Aid t-shirts. So, sometime in the near future, when they reach him, we will be setting up the selling procedures for Pounce Aid t-shirts, which again will be a limited run to begin with, although if they sell okay, we might make some more. Everything's moving fast. Lastly, I've received some fan art this week. Well, technically I received it last week, but I was a twat and didn't remember to tell people about it. So, first off, we have one called Lady Scribbler by BlueDog1414, which is absolutely lovely and has my ponysona in a wonderful Grand Galloping Gala dress, which is very pretty. And the second is a special reading from Miss Scribbler by Takara POV. Both of these people did these on spec. I didn't know that these were coming out, and they're really, really pretty. Look at this one. The colours in the background of that are amazing. This is my backdrop on my computer at the moment. Background. Oh, twatty Scribbler. And the third one is called Scribbler by ATI Golden Panther. And here we have a red background. Pretty. Yeah, I'm talking garbage now, aren't I? And lastly, we have Scribbler Duckface by Solar, whom you may remember has been doing some, for goodness sake, I can't remember what it's called, the 3D pony effect. Oh goodness, what's it called? Open source ponies? He has been doing some pictures and animations of the old opening to Ponytails. And generally he's really, really talented, considering he's all completely self-taught. The stuff he puts out is amazing. I mean, just look at this. Duckface Scribbler. Yeah, I'm talking garbage now, so I'm going to go to bed. Thank you very much, everybody. If you've contacted me this week and I've not responded, or if you've left a comment, if you've done anything, just to let me know that I'm not as worthless as real life seems to be telling me I am recently. I'm not fishing for compliments. I don't want people to respond with, "Ooh, Scribbler, we love you," type thing. I'm just saying, for the sake of saying it. Thank you for pulling me out of the doldrums a bit. It was not a good week. I don't particularly want to go into why. But even if I didn't respond, I was looking, I was reading, and I was appreciating. So thank you. Be lovely to each other, and good night, everybody.